Hey Craftiana, so today we're going to be blinging out this Shopify order counter thingamajigga, whatever you want to call it. It has this decal that was put on here. I'm going to be using, I believe, a SS12 CM rhinestone, if you can see that. And we're going to be using a black jet SS20 rhinestone for the main body. We have this big old thing of black rhinestones. It's going to take a lot because that's a lot of space. We're going to be using our glue from Blinged Up, and we're going to be using our wax pencil that I got from Amazon. You can check my storefront, and our handy dandy rhinestones tray. So let's get into it. Okay, Craftiana, we're going to start off with our decal. We're going to put a thin line of glue. I like to do my outlines first. It gives me the cleaner look just to me. So I'm just going to outline this with this red rhinestone. I thought it was a a SS12 or 10, but I believe it's a SS16 actually. So we're going to start at our point because we want that to be our sharpest point. And we're just going to keep these lines straight. If I could pick up a rhinestone, Craftiana, and we want to make sure we stay in the bounds of our decal. We want to make sure our rhinestones are not overlapping, but they're like touching, but not like crashing and bumping into each other. And we want to make sure we leave enough space in between here because a black rhinestone will be there. We want this fully covered, honey. So we're just getting this done. And don't put more glue than you can handle. If you know you're a slower blinger, don't put too much glue down because your glue will dry and your rhinestone won't stick properly. So if you need to put just a little thin line of one row at a time, do that because we don't want you having your stuff not sticking if you give your product to your client, your friend, whoever, and it ain't working. You're going to be blaming me to talk about he said do it like this. I didn't tell you to put that much glue down, Craftiana, okay? Just a little bit. You do what you can handle, friend. Do what you can handle. Okay, and I'm going to do what I can handle. So we're just getting this done. Crafty, and I have to speed this part up because we would have been here all day. So basically, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm going in with that SS16 rhinestone, and I'm just outlining that portion, okay, honey? And we're just making sure that row is nice and neat, and making sure our borders and our decal is crisp because we want this shape or whatever the emblem is, or whatever decal in general to be visible and legible, or whatever the sort. Okay, you want to be able to see your image. So when you go in with your surrounding main stone, it will pop. Then I'm going in the inside of this with, I believe, SS6 rhinestones, a smaller stone, whatever you got that fits in the middle, because another SS16 would not have fit inside that decal. So it's important to use multiple size stones, Craftiana. Okay, we're back. Okay, that's what that looks like right now. And I'll be back when I do this other emblem logo letter thing, because Craftiana, I don't know what that is. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now we got that little logo done, and we're gonna put our base row of black here, and I'm gonna put a bottom row here of our main side stone because I want these two edges to be full. I'm not gonna go all the way around right now. I'm gonna focus on this side, and then when I'm ready to continue, I'm gonna start wrapping the bottom part around and just fill in the rest with honeycomb. So we're gonna just take our glue, get it closest possible to this top, make sure we have a nice thin line. And remember what I said earlier. If you're not a quick blinger, don't put too much glue. Start short and work your way up because we don't want that glue to dry. Because that will cause this issue, a waste of time. You'll have to dry glue, pick that off. And we just don't want all of that. We just really don't want all of that. So we're going to go in one rhinestone at a time. And we're going to go right to where that glass meets. And we want to keep this line straight as possible and making sure we're keeping these rhinestones nice and tight because we want a tight honeycomb. Okay? We want a nice tight honeycomb, Craftiana. We don't want it sloppy. We don't want too many gaps, but sometimes the gaps are inevitable. Ooh, don't read me because that word was tearing me up. But we want, as minimal gaps as possible, but you're going to have some regardless because sometimes if you get rhinestones from two different batches or two different suppliers, heck, even the same suppliers, and they're cut like slightly different, they're going to be slightly off. no matter what. Some are going to be slightly bigger, some are going to be slightly smaller, and then it causes your honeycomb to have very few spaces, like not noticeable gaps, but there will be a gap. So that's why it's best to have your base color match your rhinestone color so it won't be as noticeable. And everything just blends in, okay? You got me. You got me. And I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I got 4 days to get this done on top of 6 other Vaseline jars. So I'm trying to get this done. It is around 5 o'clock right now. It is 4:44 exactly. I want to have this done by tomorrow night. And I got stuff to do tomorrow night. So preferably before 4 p.m. tomorrow. I want this whole thing done. So we ran out of glue. And make sure you're not putting rhinestones on invisible glue lines. Make sure you're checking to see where your glue line stops. So I'm just going to take this down. And I'm going to shut up now. And you could just watch me bling. Okay, now that this first row is complete, I'm going to let that dry. This is what that looks like. We're going to let that dry before I come back and start honeycombing my way on down. Because when I put my rhinestones in between those two sections, I don't want to push those out of place. So I'm going to let those dry. We back, y'all. So I let that first row dry. And now we're just going to go in and start our honeycomb process. I'm taking my glue and I'm putting another little strip right down here. I'm going to keep emphasizing, if you can't move this fast, don't put this much glue down, Craftiana. And you want to make sure every little section got some glue, because you see how I don't know if you can see, but it skimped out a little part, and we don't want that, okay? We need glue on every rhinestone, or we need every rhinestone glue, whatever. So we're going in with our main size. And you see, you place that right in between the two. You see these 1, 2, it go right in there. That's the honeycomb pattern. That's how you fit that right in there. You want to keep your pattern consistent for a neat and pretty look. We want professional looking work, okay? There's other methods, scatter method, linear method. I don't too much fool with them. I'm a honeycomb type of person. If I could honeycomb it anywhere, child, it's gonna be honey in the comb, okay? And if you see, you just repeat that process. Once your first base row is nice and stable, you can push these rhinestones up into it for the closest and neatest look. And that first row is stable. That's why we do that first and let that dry and come back to it. And then that's all you do is repeat this. And then when we get to over here, I'm gonna show you what to do. But that's all. So just watch me do that, and I'm going to show you what I do when I tell you what I do when I get down closer to that logo. So I had to speed this up a little bit, but I'm just honeycombing my way in. I'm just basically placing a stone in between the two previous stones of that top row. And I make sure I keep that nice and neat, and I'm about to show you exactly what I do when I get around this logo. We getting close to this logo, and there's a little gap right here. Let's see if you can see it. There's a little gap right here. And the SS20 is obviously not going to go fit in there. So we're going to put a smaller stone. This is a SS6. And wham, that's going to take up that space. Honestly, I probably could put another one right there. So I'm going to put another one right in that space as well. Actually, I'm going to go in and put an SS3 when I finish, because I don't have it out right now. But that's all you do. So when you get to the end of your row and close to your logo and your main size won't fit there, put a filler stone. Sometimes I like to outline with my main size then, but right now we're just going to do it like that. And then we're just going to continue our row on the other side, and we're going to put a filler stone there, and all that's going to be filler stone. So let's get back into it. And now we have 2 rows of this done. Let me show you. And that's what it looks like. And we're just going to repeat that process all the way down. And I'm going to come back after I do a few more rows. Get into it, Craftiana. Okay, so we're about halfway through this first panel. And I'm just repeating the process. I'm going from left to right, this way to this way. But honestly, since this logo is in the middle, I could just complete this half until about right here. And then that half and connect it at the bottom. But I'm just going all the way across. But it's personal preference. You just repeat the same process one by one, stone by stone, Craftiana. That's really it. Blinging is not that hard. And this is a SS20 jet black rhinestone. I don't know if I said that earlier, but yeah. And if y'all got any questions, just be free to ask me. I answer them. You can also follow me on my other social medias, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All that brand so crafty. And I do accept custom orders and whatever. You can shop with me on my website, www.brandsocrafty.com, or on my Etsy at brandsocrafty. And if you want something that's not on the site and custom blinged out, you could just email me, message me on Instagram, and I'll get to you, honey. I'll respond pretty fast. But yeah, that's all we doing. I'm just showing you a little progress check. And this is me in real time right now. Okay, some of these parts will be sped up, Craftiana, because we'll be here for 30 years. I should have did a time check, but you know, I didn't. I'll do that next time if I remember. Ugh. This is pretty much it. Making sure I put them in between the two stones. This is the honeycomb method again. You want to make sure your lines as straight as possible too. I mean, it's not going to too much matter, but it looks nice. Ugh. All these little black rhinestones, and blinging them black on black is the hardest. Your eyes will play tricks on you. It is nothing of the devil. And when I get here, I'm just gonna like stop it about here. I might take it out one more, and then I'll fill that in once I get all the way around. Okay, so we're almost to the bottom, and I want to put a row at the bottom and I'll put my filler row in between there, because I like for all my edges and outsides to look neat. I want this to look the same as this. I don't want no small stones at the bottom because it just gives you an overall cleaner look to me. I mean, you could put your filler rows at the bottom, but it's a box, a rectangle. You want it to look, you know, the most cohesive. And I feel like when you put the same size stone all around your edges, especially doing honeycomb method, it just give it a more cleaner and polished look. Just my opinion. So I'm going to add in that row, and then I'll go in between here with a smaller stone and just fill that in. Okay, Craftiana. So when I'm blinging, I like to do all my edges and bling in the middle. Now, if I was able to put two more of this stone down here without it hanging over, I would have did that, but it wouldn't fit. So that's why I just waited until I got to close to the edge to see if it would fit, and it wouldn't. So here we are, just putting this there and get into it. Okay, now we got that bottom last row done. We're gonna just fill in around the logo while that dry. Then we'll go in between there with them nicks and cranny. Okay, you got that. So we're just filling it in with. Right now, these are SS20s, the same size stone. Whatever I could fit of this in there, I want to fit in there. I'm gonna extend that as far as possible. But I'm using multiple size stones to fit in these gaps in to make sure this is nice and covered too, okay? We want full coverage. Okay. We didn't pay all this money for our taxes not to give us a good old lace front and good coverage, Craftiana. Don't let them play us. Shoot. No small head, boy head. And don't be like me. Don't try to stuff no rhinestone in the place. If it ain't gonna fit, it ain't gonna fit. I was really saying that for myself. Because as you can see, I be trying to stuff some and then just mess up your whole work. Don't do that. Learn from me. I'm showing you what not to do. Do as I say, not as I do. Ooh, you just want to take your time. Use whatever size stone that will fit, but don't go too big, because if you go too big and try to push it, you can move all your other work around and pop it out of place, and we don't want that. So this is basically just SS3s, SS10s, and SS6s mostly right now. These little tiny. It's all about the details. Okay. Ooh. And sometimes it's real hard to see black on black. Thank you, goodness, isn't that bad. But baby, you see how I had that one lifted? That was because I was trying to stuff and fight. Just pop that right back in place. Don't do that. Heck, I can't see now what I'm talking about. This I can, folk. Alright, just watch me do this. Okay, so now we filled that portion in. Now we're just going to go in here and between this with some. This is a SS16. We're just going to fill this little last row on this front side in. Okay. You want to find you a perfect size stone so you won't have to put too many multiple sizes right here. And if your lines are straight, it should be mostly one stone. But sometimes straight lines don't have them, Craftiana, and it's alright. You just work with what you got and keep it pushing. All my lines don't be straight, okay? As you can see, wrist broke, okay? So these lines be crooked. It's just how you move about it in your overall presentation. Some people, they could do perfect lines all the dang time. I'm not one of them. Okay, y'all, progress check. So we are this much done. We have this whole front part. And what I just recently learned, it goes like this, and this is the top part. So I only have to do the sides. And then they said that I don't have to do the bottom. So I just have to do this and this. And this is done with the logo and everything. So let's get into the rest. Craftiana, I was bamboozled, so I did the sides of that, and then they decided they wanted this side done too, so we had to do this real quick, okay? So we're basically repeating the same process as we did as the front. We're putting our base top row down, and we're just laying that nice, neat, and straight, something I probably will never be, honey, okay? And we're making sure that it's oh so clean, and then we're gonna let that dry, and we're gonna honeycomb our way on down. Now I felt like it was a scheme that Ty set up, that they said they wanted this other part done, because I didn't plan for that, okay? Like, I didn't, like, because I had dang near packed it up and was ready to give it to them. They said, oh, we don't need it until yada yada yada, can you do this part too now? I mean, I guess.